Well, there comes a time in everyone's life where it's getting pretty close for me, actually, getting to that 50 window. I can't believe I just said that out loud. 50 window, getting over the age of 50. And you know, there's organizations out there that want to help you live a happier, healthier, more well-rounded life. And that is where AARP comes in. I am joined this morning by Kimberly Campbell. Kimberly, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. So do me a favor, before we get started, tell us a little bit about AARP.
Yes, so we are the nation's leading advocacy group to support those that are 50 and older and their families, whether that's in the realm of their finances, their health, and even their joy. And so we always want to say that we are here to help individuals choose how they wish to live and age.
That seems to be the mission for AARP, and with that huge smile on your face, it seems like it's a passion for you as well.
So yeah, you're right, though. We work on the national level with our federal advocacy as well as our state level things. We do a lot of state advocacy work, but we also do community projects. And so there's our community outreach where we do a lot of caregiving things. We do movies for grown-ups. We do a lot of fun things. And so, you know, we're just there to make sure that we are feeling the need to help those as they age, whether it's also in workplace. You know, we do a lot of workforce enforcement, as well as our advocacy work, some of our work in SAVE, and having separate retirement programs for those that may not already have that if they're not a state employee. We also played in the broadband space, you know, and so we were very concerned about digital equity across the state, especially for our rural communities. We do work with our veterans, and so the list goes on and on with the communities that we serve.
So AARP Mississippi, this is what you were spearheading, and you guys are doing some work to help celebrate the 90th anniversary of Social Security. Tell us about that.
Yes, so Social Security will turn 90 exactly on August 14th of this year. And so we are revving up. We have activities that will be beginning in the month of July, and we're carried through until the close of August. And so one of our fun events that we have that will be coming to the Mouse Point area will be our ice cream social. And so we are very, very excited about that event. That's where you can come and you can get a scoop of ice cream. You can also learn more about your Social Security benefits, learn more about what we are doing, AARP, on the national level and state level, to make sure that we are in the fight to make sure that Social Security remains solvent. I don't know if you know, but here in Mississippi, nearly 691,000 people receive Social Security. That is a huge amount of our population, and that roughly injects about $13.1 billion into the state of Mississippi's economy each year. Another statistic that is very, important to us is that 200,000 Mississippians that are 65 and older have been lifted out of poverty because of Social Security. So we want to celebrate what Social Security is, and we also want to continue to make our policymakers and our members of Congress and our legislators all understand that we want them to continue their bipartisan work to continue to make Social Security solvent for future generations.
Those are impressive numbers.
I hear that often when I'm invited to speak or on panels. That usually just jars everyone. But it's interesting because once we start discussion, there's never anyone in the room that does not know someone that is receiving Social Security. So that's what's fun, is one of those things that we forget the number, but then when you really start talking to everybody, there's a grandparent, there's an uncle, there's a mother, even the disability benefits. And so the stories just grow. And then when you start having those discussions about, this is why we are in the fight. This is why we want to make sure that Social Security remains. Because sometimes there's the myth that, this is a bailout or this is just money that the government is given. That is absolutely not true. All of us, if you have worked, you have paid into Social Security. So we're not asking for a handout. We just want to make sure that those years that you worked, those years that you served and put money into Social Security, Security, you deserve to get to reap those benefits. That is what was promised to you during all your 30+ years of working. So we want to make sure that when it's your time to retire, or if you need the disability, that the money is there.
It is definitely a fact. I see that line item as a deduction on every single paycheck that I have. And I always was, you know, when I was younger, you hear from adults when you're not old enough to be worried about this stuff. It's like, Social Security will never be around when you needed it. Well, they talked about privatizing, and it's like, and I'm getting a little closer. And I'm a lot closer now than I was when I first started having the conversation. So I get those like biannual mailers that say, this is what your benefits are, you retired now. And I was like, all right, this is... I think about retirement now when I never thought about it before.
You can go in, get a username, get a password, and I can check right now today. Look, I'll just tell you, I'm 53. Today, right now, I can go into my Social Security and it will load up my career history, all the credits that I have, all the money that I've paid into. It will already project, if I take early Social Security, 62, what that monthly would be. If I go to 67, what that monthly would be. And even if I do the delayed at 70, what that check would look like. And so still good to know that you can go in there and see right now how the Social Security is growing and what you would have in retirement.
Social Security payments keep up with inflation.
Absolutely. That's what is the COLA, right? You know, it's the cost of living adjustment. That happens every year. And so that is really important. So quick things that we want people to know about the myths. One, that it's going broke. That's not entirely true. However, Congress does need to act. If they do not act and change some of the guidance that is in laws right now, we probably will have a deduction beginning around 2034, I believe. But even then, they would still be able to pay out about 80% of the benefits. But again, we want bipartisan support. We want our members of Congress to work on that. Again, I brought it up earlier. It is a myth that Social Security is something extra. No, we paid into it, we earned it, we deserve it back. It's also a myth that the government uses Social Security to pay for other programs. No, it is primarily set for Social Security benefits. Again, it's your money that you paid into it. Also a myth, you'll lose a portion of your benefits permanently if you take benefits and keep working. That's not entirely true either. Social Security does have a rule called the earnings limit or earnings test that can temporarily reduce your payments if you're still working, but it doesn't apply to all working beneficiaries, and it is not permanent. So again, we just want you to continue to follow what's going on. You can always go to our website, www.aarp.org/MS. You can find all the great work that we do around Social Security. And also don't forget about the ice cream social that's coming really soon to Moss Point. And so that will be on the website as well.
Awesome. A lot of great information. Kimberly, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.